I don't think that's toxic masculinity. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
I do.
You could feel like that. You could
I
keep that on that
do.
side of the table
I do. Hey, and welcome to the Binge Box, where we share our thoughts on TV shows, friendships, relationships, and everything in between.
though. Join us as we binge on all the good stuff life has to offer.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Fatal Friendship Flaw Theory. So, I was scrolling through TikTok recently and I came across this TikTok creator by the name of Tinks who came up with this theory called the Fatal Friendship Flaw.
This is more of a rule than a theory, but I think that every single one of your close or best friends has a fatal flaw.
So basically, the fatal friendship flaw is where you have a friend that you're super close with, probably your best friend, and they have a fatal flaw. There's something about them that is kind of not your cup of tea, but
Hmm.
you have to make the ultimate decision to decide whether you want to deal with that fatal flaw or not. And if you decide not, whether that's like cutting them off or just like knocking them down the totem pole, it's really up to you.
Okay. So what you're saying is like when we have these friends and we know they might be a pathological liar, nothing crazy, but tell a lot of white lies. You know that's their fatal flaw, I guess, and
Essentially.
you just rock with them and you rock with them because you know what it is and you accept them for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
So, my question is, have you ever experienced a friendship with a fatal flaw?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've had friends that are pathological liars, and you learn to accept it. You just take the good with the bad, and you accept them for them, even if they're gonna lie. You just be like, all right, cool. I'm accepting you for you.
Facts. Okay. So, with that being said, do you feel like you have a fatal flaw or have had a fatal flaw in any of your friendships?
Um, yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't need my friends to answer that honestly,
Mhm.
because it's hard to really know what my flaw is. But I feel like in the past, I would just put my romantic relationships over my friendships, and I guess maybe no friend has really expressed that to me, but looking back at it in hindsight, I understand that's something that I used to do a lot. So maybe my friends accepted me know that when Tyler gets a girlfriend, we're not going to see Tyler as much, or Tyler's not going to really be the friend that he usually is. So maybe that could be my fatal flaw, or was my fatal flaw.
Mhm.
But I guess they accepted me for that.
Okay.
You think you got one?
Um, yes. But before I get to that, I feel like there's something about guys' friendships that's a little bit like different and nuanced. And I feel like there's something within y'all that like y'all don't ever like y'all be having beef but don't say nothing. Like it's just like we just don't with each other right now. And nobody's saying what the actual issue is. Is that accurate?
You could
Would you
say
say?
that. You could say that, but I feel like with like male friendships, a lot of times is we could be beefing and be best friends tomorrow. It's no real bad blood.
Hmm.
Like there be disagreements, and you could not talk to somebody for a week, and then we go play ball. I thought you were passing, you score, and we mans again.
Okay, that's fair. But there's levels to disagreements as well. So you can say that y'all beefing, but if it's not something that's that deep, it's like, okay, whatever. But if it's been something that's super deep to either party, is it the same energy?
Um, well, it depends on the relationship, and it depends on in which situation that you guys coexist. Because you can have close friends, we can have a serious beef, but let's say we're on the same basketball team, as an example. We got a game tomorrow. Don't matter what the beef is. We got to chalk it up and play basketball. Um, if it's a coworker and we're really close friends, we have to still coexist at work. I
I
feel
mean,
like
yeah,
I feel
place
like
and time.
yeah. So I feel like it depends on that situation as well. But I feel like sometimes guys they won't talk and then they'll just take a moment to just be like, "Yo, you say your piece." One person say their piece, the other person might not respond right then and there, and then the next dude might say his piece a day from now, and they get squashed. If y'all really mans,
Hmm.
it'd be the fake friends that the beef really drags on. With your real friends, especially my experience as a guy with real male friends, beef gets squashed in 3 to 5 business days. They don't be no long standing rivalry for months and years. Like they don't do that.
Okay.
You don't really hear guys like my ex best friends and stuff like that.
I'm screaming. That nigga I don't fuck with.
Yeah, you don't really hear that from guys. So what's your fatal flaw? Because you skipped over that.
I think my fatal flaw is probably just like my strictness and like low tolerance. Like I really don't have time for any of the bullshit. So I feel like sometimes um my friends get like irritated with that cuz they feel like I'm not giving them enough grace in certain situations. And it's not that I'm not giving them grace cuz the thing is like I kind of give grace before I say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even a conversation, and that's probably something I need to work on and just like say it outright. But I
Mm-hmm.
kind of let it play out a little bit, and then if I see that it's happening multiple times, I'll bring it up. Then if I see that it happens again after I already brought it up, then it's a problem for me because it's like we already had this conversation. But yeah, I think that's probably what my friends would say.
Okay. So in regards to that, my opinion on that is you
Mm-hmm.
said you give grace, but you don't really say you give grace. So
Mm-hmm.
I always have an issue with when people give grace silently,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like when people give grace silently, they low key silently reach their breaking point too,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of just
Spats.
yeah. And then when you spaz, if I didn't know you gave me grace 4 times, you
Mm-hmm.
just spaz it for no reason. It seems like so. I feel like, and it's hard to do. I don't really know. I don't have a solution,
Mm-hmm.
but it needs to be a better way of giving grace and letting somebody know you're giving grace, but you don't really want to spell it out because that's another thing too. That's just gonna look like you trying to feel
It's
like
like
you're
you're
better.
nitpicking.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to do.
So
Yeah.
there needs to be a in between. I don't know if I can figure it out, but
Mm-hmm.
there got to be an in between where you can give grace and not reach a breaking point silently, but do let them know that like, hey, I'm not really feeling X, I'm not feeling Y, I'm not feeling Z that you're doing.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think I've always had that issue, and it actually came up more recently with one of my closest friends to the point where we both kind of just decided that we're not actually best friends right now. Like, we're cool. I still love you. I still mess with you, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, and that's real shit too.
Mm-hmm.
The older you get, you start to realize that friendships change, people change, different things, and breaking points too. Because the longer a friendship goes on, a longer a relationship goes on, it's the more times you've given grace.
Yeah.
It's the more time stuff has happened to you. It's the more times where you feel away. So there's always going to be a stopping point where it's like, damn, I can't take it anymore for now. So
Facts.
sometimes, hitting a pause button for a little minute, figuring it out for you, figuring it out for them, and figuring it out together.
Yeah.
Then you can hit play at a different time. And it
Yeah.
might not be in the same spot you were before, but it could be in a different place, a different relationship now. It might not be best friends, but it might be close friends, it might be acquaintances, but it's still, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Friendships as an adult are definitely super hard. But in regards to like, I guess downgrading your friendships, have you ever been in that position before? Or have you been downgraded as a friend?
Well, I don't know if I've been downgraded because 99% of the time, if somebody downgraded you, they don't tell you. They just you see less of them, you hear from them a little less, and then you can kind of come to the conclusion like I downgraded. And
Yeah.
I probably did the same thing to other people. Like I've had a close friend that I grew up with, and although we got, it just kind of I do my own thing, they did their own thing. We
Mm.
don't see each other as much. It's still all love. If I got something going on, of course you gonna get an invite and everything like that. But you just start to see that not enough time in the day. You travel your own path. I travel my own path. Sometimes those paths don't align. So sometimes you gotta just make the executive decision and be like, yo, I'm gonna fall back a little bit from this. Still all love. If I see you in the streets, dap you up, be straight. But
Mm.
for right now, we just in two different solar systems currently, and that's cool. So yeah, I've been downgraded and I've downgraded people. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Do you feel like there was a pivotal moment at any point in time where you realize that the dynamic changed, where you realize like, okay, I'm busy, they're busy, we got other things going on in our lives, and we're not going to be as close or as cool as we used to be?
Yeah, I just feel like for me it was more so I realized that I was the one that was making the efforts and making the time and not really getting that same energy reciprocated. And like you kind of said before, you give grace a few times and then you kind of reach that breaking point where it's like, if I'm the only one outstretching my hand and you're not ever, then maybe I should stop outstretching my hand. Maybe I should just fall back a bit because
Mm-hmm.
it takes two to tango. If I'm stretching out my hand, you need to stretch out yours too, and then we can really do something. Because I need energy reciprocated. That's something I've just learned with being an adult that now every time you hang out with a friend, every time you see a friend, it's a choice now. It's not really you see your friends in school, that was forced.
Yeah.
Work friends, you see them at work. But when you have friends outside of that, it's more so I'm choosing to take 3 hours out of my busy life to hang out with you. You also need to take the 3 hours out of your life to hang out with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not just me making an effort and me traveling to West Bubble or I'm going to your crib and I'm going to your crib and everything is on me because
Mm-hmm.
you're not really making an effort. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
kind of showing up and then we're
Yeah.
chilling. There's a difference.
Being
People don't realize that.
intentional.
Yeah, people don't realize that me coming to you and me hanging out your crib is us chilling, yeah. But what effort are you really making for that? Because if I didn't
Mm-hmm.
come to your crib, was I really gonna see you? Probably not.
Mm.
So I feel like that goes into it as well.
Okay. So when do you have that conversation then? Since y'all don't
Um,
really, we just beef and then we get over it the next
I
day.
don't even think
How do
that
y'all talk about that?
I don't think it's really even spoken about.
Y'all just go through it,
You just
feel the
kind.
feelings, be mad for a little bit, and then
I mean, I don't think I was ever really mad that much. It was just like, yo, I see how you moving. I'm gonna fall back. Like, and when somebody falls back,
you move
but
differently. They
yeah,
move
they gonna
differently.
go along with it. They don't have a choice.
Hmm.
If I'm falling back, there's no other choice you have, and it kind of just becomes the now relationship. Next week it could change. Honestly, like if I have a change of heart or something comes up and I have an event, we hang out. We go play ball tomorrow. We hang out. It might happen for 3 days in a row, and then the relationship might be like, yo, damn, I dad miss you, bro. Like
Aw,
honestly,
wink, wink.
yeah, that happens sometimes, and then we might hang out a little bit more. But for the current moment right now, it's just like it's nothing new really needs to be said.
Would you choke that up to toxic masculinity?
No, I just feel like certain stuff just fade. I feel like it's the same thing with family. You get a little older, you don't see family as much. You don't have the conversations about it. You just kind of
I
go
mean,
along with it.
the not having the conversation part. You don't feel like that's toxic?
No, I just
No.
feel like it's just life.
Okay.
Certain stuff could just be left
So
unsaid.
if you were doing that with your girlfriend, it would be the same energy.
That's my girlfriend. I feel like it's different.
How is that different? She has her own life. She has shit going on. Like you have shit going on. Things happen.
Absolutely, but the
She gets
difference
busy.
the
She
difference is I
can't.
can't downgrade my girlfriend. If
You can.
I downgrade my girlfriend, she's not my girlfriend no more.
She's your friend.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
girl.
you can do that too then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. But then y'all need to have that conversation because y'all are in a relationship. Y'all need to break up. I'm not breaking up my friendship. That's the difference. We're still friends. No, you're not jacking that.
Not jacking
We're
it.
still friends though. We are still friends. We're just not seeing each other as much. If it's my girlfriend and we're not seeing each other that much, we have to have a conversation to figure out do we want to continue this relationship or do we want to downgrade it to just friends?
Why do you value the
I value both
relationship?
of them.
You don't value them
I
equally
do.
though.
I do.
Because why wouldn't you have a conversation with your friend who you platonically love? I would assume.
Because certain stuff needs to be left unsaid. I don't think that's toxic masculinity. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
I do.
You could feel like that. You could
I
keep that on that
do.
side of the table though.
I do. Because things need to be spoken about when you have issues. And I'm granted, I'm not saying everything. Because
Hmm.
literally, we don't have to talk about every single thing that's an issue. I do not believe that. Sometimes it's really just you, you know? And you just need to keep that to yourself. But when there are bigger issues in the scheme of things, even if it's not something that's detrimental to the relationship, if it's something that like you really feel a type of way about, or like something that's been harboring on your mind, I feel like it's something that you should have a conversation about. So to be like, oh, we just gonna like move past it and be cool the next day is like, but that feeling is still gonna linger. Cause let's say this friend is like brushing you off to hang out with somebody else. They're not giving you the same energy that you're giving them, but they're giving it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna make you feel away. It doesn't matter how you toss that.
For sure.
So are you just gonna sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna just take my L and feel away and just not say nothing? Or are you gonna like be like, yo, bro, that's kind of messed up?
I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly, in this fake situation that we're naming. I don't know what I'll do. But
it's a very real.
No, it's very
thing,
real, and
though.
I definitely understand where you're coming from, and a conversation definitely should be had. But the ugly truth is, a lot of time it's not had.
Y'all niggas not talking.
Pretty much. But also, I do feel like the conversation ends up being had when we do get cool again, or when we get closer again. Where it was like, yo,
after
bro,
you've already like moved past it.
Yeah, that's what happens. I feel like a lot with guys, where we might not talk for a little bit of time or not see each other as much for a bit of time. When we do hang out again and we do get closer again, it was like, yo, bro, back when this happened, yo, I was feeling like this. And then that conversation could be had and we could figure out and come to a solution. I just don't feel like it happens right then and there.
So do you feel like the original issue is normally resolved
at
that point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's just, I feel like that conversation that needs to be had sometimes, it's like a breakup conversation. I ain't trying to have a breakup conversation with my mans. So we just kind of just do our thing. Then when we have a conversation about it, it's just more so, yeah, I was feeling like this. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I was feeling like that too. We straight though. Nice little dap, and then we good. Mm-hmm. But I understand him. He understand me. So yeah, I feel like we still get to the same end goal where the conversation is had. Both of our feelings are understood and heard, and we're friends again. So I feel like we still get to the end goal. Might not be in the order which you might want it to be, but we still get to the same result.
I'm not saying I might want it to be.
Not you, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But we still get to the end of the rainbow, so we're good.
You got it.
Question for you: do you feel like every friend has a fatal flaw? And also, part 2 of the question: do you notice every fatal flaw in every friend? Because every friend might have it, but you might not know it in that specific friend.
That's a great question. Because honestly, I brought this up to the group chat, and we were all like having the same thought process of like, what is the fatal flaw? Who do we decide has the fatal flaw? Does everybody have a fatal flaw? How do we go about it? Do we cut them off? Do we like forgive them? Do we like we were going through the works of like trying to like get the dynamics of it all. I guess to each its own. But me personally, I do believe everybody has a fatal flaw. Like as human beings, we are all imperfect. We're born sinners. So naturally, there's always going to be something wrong in a sense with us, whether we see it or not, whether it affects the people closest to us or not. Like somebody else is going to notice it at some point, one way or another. And it just depends on, I would say, probably the other person's triggers, because everybody is going to be triggered by a different flaw differently. Like sometimes a friend could just be somebody that like talks all the time, and that's not an issue for you, but it's an issue for me, you know? So yeah, I do believe everybody has a fatal flaw, and yeah, it just depends on the relationship and the dynamic for you to decide like, yeah, I could deal with this, or that's just not for me. We don't align here.
So what you're saying is, with the triggers, you feel like if you're in a friend group, say it's 5 of y'all, right? And we're gonna just put one friend on the hot seat, right? So friend A is in the hot seat right now. The other 4 friends are gonna name their fatal flaw for that friend A.
It's an intervention?
No. It's an intervention for this situation, but it's not like that. But I'm trying to paint a picture.
Okay.
So friend A is in a hot seat. Mm-hmm. All other 4 friends have to tell you what is that fatal flaw. The 4 friends all have different triggers. They're probably all gonna name 4 different fatal flaws. Yes. That's OD. Damn, y'all really don't bangs with that. You get what I'm saying? Because if one person is like, yo, they don't really like when people talk too much.
Yeah.
So friend 2 is gonna be like, yo, her favorite flaw is she be yapping. Mm-hmm. Friend 3 might.
It's the same.
What?
That was the same thing. They talk too much, they yapping.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh. But every single friend is gonna have a different fatal flaw, and that's like, then you just point out everything that's wrong with me. Like, so everything that's wrong with me is a fatal flaw.
I mean, if that person or that group of friends were to sit down and be like, yeah, let's talk about each other's fatal flaws in that moment, then yeah, you would have to sit down and hear it. But it shouldn't be a thing of like, let the group
No, no, of course
just
not.
decide
Of course
what
not.
your fatal flaw is or whatever. It's just a matter of like, if this is an issue for me personally, I'm going to bring it to you. If it's something that's detrimental to me and something that affects me harshly or negatively and it bothers me a lot, so much so to the point where it's like I'm bringing it up to other people. I'm irritated by it. I'm stressed out by it. And I just don't want to deal with it no more. I'm going to bring it up to you and I'm going to let you know. And I'm going to have to decide in that moment, depending on how deep it is to me, but also how the conversation goes at that point. Because that friend could be like, I don't want to hear this. F you. Like, we're cool. And you just got to take that. Or they could be like, okay, I hear you. I don't know how to work on this. Are you willing to accept this? And you now have to decide, like, yeah, I'm going to just deal with it. I don't like it, but I'm deal with it because I love you and I care for you. But
So
maybe let's set some boundaries. Let's like, okay, you're a yapper. Maybe talk to me once a week, not every day, like
no, I
something like
got
that.
you. So the fatal flaw is that one big thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the
It's like the canon event, I guess that's what they call it. But like that big, like
yeah,
detrimental
it's that
moment
it's that
is,
big thing.
yeah.
It's not the little things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes to the fatal flaws and having a conversation with your friend about the fatal flaws, I feel like that's a difficult conversation, just one to begin with. And I feel like in most friendships, that conversation isn't had.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation is usually had behind their back. Whereas like I'm gonna tell my other friends like, yo, this person be doing this, that. Also, because I don't really want to call you out that much on something like that because you're my friend and I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's something that's you do. It's your fatal flaw. Not something you do intentionally a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's part of your DNA. It's part of your makeup.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's probably not going to change. So I feel like me not telling you is also, I feel like, a way of me accepting you as well. I accept you for you. I love you for you. I know that you're going to do this. I ain't going to like it, but I'm willing to live with it. I'm not going to call you out on it because the moment I call you out on it, I feel like it makes you insecure about it, makes you overthink about it now. And then it's going to be hard for you to be your authentic self.
Mm.
Because if my fatal flaw is the yapping thing that we keep bringing up, and you come to me and you be like, yo, you be yapping. Now, when I'm around you, I'm probably not going to talk as much on purpose because now I'm in my own head now. Now I'm insecure about it. Because, like, one of my closest friends feels like I talk too much. And all I do is want to tell them how I feel and just tell them about my day because that's our relationship. But this whole time, she been feeling like I'll talk all day. So now
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to talk as much. And that's how you feel like, that's how you kill a friendship too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like sometimes you got to just keep it to yourself.
I get that. I feel like there's also a way to go about it, and maybe because I am a woman and I experience having these kinds of conversations a little more often, I feel like it's how you say it and not what you're saying sometimes. And yes, naturally, you're going to be insecure, you're going to be defensive, you're going to feel a type of way about any negative comment, especially coming from somebody that you love and care about. But if it's coming to you with like love and like, kindness, you're a little bit more receptive to it. So imagine now, like, let's say I'm dealing with somebody that like they complain a lot. I don't like them complaining all the time. I'm not necessarily going to go to them and be like, hey, stop all your complaining, stop your bitching. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, that's crazy,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to them and be like, okay, I'm sitting down. I'll have the conversation with you. They're complaining this week about their job. Cool. Fine. We're having the conversation. I show up for them. I hold space for them. I give them advice, whatever the dynamic is. They call back tomorrow. They're complaining about something going on at home. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. I listen. All right, cool. The next day, I'm not answering that phone for you to complain.
But
Or
how do you know
if
they're gonna
I
complain?
answer the phone and I know that you're calling to talk to me, I'll just lead the conversation another way. Like, we're not going to complain right now.
No
And if I
complaining
do
here.
want to directly say it, it's going to be more so something like, I want to show up for you. I want to hold space for you. I love you. And I know that you're going through certain things, but I don't have the capacity. I don't have the space to hold for you in this moment right now.
It's you, not me. That's what you're hitting them with?
Huh?
You gonna hit them with the
It's me, not you.
It's me, not you.
Yeah.
Damn. See, it's like a breakup
But
conversation.
it is at the end of the day, because the issue and the trigger is with you. So you have to set that boundary, even though it's an issue with the friend. It's a problem for you. It's not a problem for them because that's their nature. So, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I could respect that. Sort of,
Kind of, a little bit.
Sort of, kind of.
On the weekends, on the side, maybe on a Wednesday afternoon.
You know the vibes.
Okay, why is that? Why sort of, kind of?
I just don't know if I can have those conversations. Like, I don't know. Because I want my friends to be their authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you're coming to me to complain, I'm a safe space for you. And if I kind of tell you that you complain too much, no matter how I word it, I could word it in the most pleasantful way. I could put in ChatGPT. How do you tell a friend that they're complaining a lot in a nice way, and copy and paste that and read it word for word for them? Mm-hmm. They still gonna feel away, and I feel like tomorrow when they have something to complain about, they're gonna pick up the phone. They're gonna look for Tyler. Actually, let me not call. Mm-hmm. Or next time we speak, they want to say something. Now they can't really be themselves, and you can feel when somebody's not really being themselves. Yeah. Like, especially me, I feel like I read people. Like I could just get body language, I could get a vibe, I could feel the energy, and now I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's wrong?" They're probably gonna be like, "Nothing, it's all good," mm-hmm. And it's gonna get awkward. Yeah, and it's all because I kind of told them stop being them.
I get that, but I also feel like you're thinking of it in a more, like serious way.
It's a serious thing.
It's a serious thing. Okay, I think that you're thinking of it more like literally pace by pace as I stated it, versus like thinking of it in your own form. So how I kind of like understood it a little bit more is like, let's say this is my hate language as opposed to love language. This is my hate language. We have all different types of hate languages, things that we don't like, that we don't appreciate from the people that we care about. And there's obviously levels. There's always going to be something that like really triggers you. Maybe yapping doesn't trigger you. Maybe complaining doesn't trigger you personally. But there's going to be something. Yeah. So that one thing that like really grinds your gears, you're going to want to talk to them about it. You're not going to sit there and be like, oh, let me think about their feelings. No, it doesn't matter about their feelings.
No, you're right.
This shit is pissing me off.
You're right.
So yeah, I think it's just depending on how you personally feel about the situation gives you more motivation and like desire to like have that conversation.
Gotcha. If it's my pet peeve, then I'm gonna call him out. Yeah. No, you got it. Yeah, I gotta really put myself and immerse myself into the experience to understand. You got it.
Facts. Yeah.
Say no more.
Happy. So that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what else they got to do?
In the comments below, drop what you think is your fatal friendship flaw. Feel free to email us or DM us with any stories about fatal friendship flaws, if you're in need of any advice about the same. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Binge Box Pod. We'll catch you in the next one. Happy binging.
Happy binging.